As I sit here staring at a river, I wonder where it leads. Still waters run deep, swift current carve canes, wind patterns start to form. A butterfly flaps its wings, Katrina, tropical storm. How did we get here? Where are we going? What separates us from our dreams, a river or an ocean? Going with the flow, but I'm still fighting with changing tides undertow. When the sharks are still trying to eat me alive. Man versus wild, I pray that I keep on winning, and the Lord have it in his will to see me through this sinning. Got my head in the clouds, feet on the ground, one step after the next. Fearing each one brings me closer to success or death. Damn, either would bring me peace, my faith bring me resolve. But until the day I'm deceased, me and my niggas trying to get it, grinding to make it happen, waiting to catch fire. Till then we just matches.
Yeah, man. So I don't know no other way to say this, man, but Kev, it's been a rough weekend. I had a very weird encounter, made me very uncomfortable. Work was stressful. I'm in Atlanta, so I'm constantly getting propositioned by dudes.
But for the record, I'm not that type of therapist.
Yeah.
For the record, I'm not that type of therapist.
Apparently, it ain't gonna be no rope over here either. I thought having two other cats was gonna reel me in a little bit, but this your dog Cod DecaturboyMusic, aka Big Tabby, Tabula Rasa, the Philosopher, and I just like to welcome you guys to Mental Health Monday, and this is Big M Week, Step 1, and we're gonna kick it off with mantras and something that's near and dear to my heart that I believe to my core and at a foundational level is all centered around something that a lot of y'all might have got introduced to watching the Avengers series and them constantly saying quantum this, quantum that, quantum realm, but timeline jumping or timeline hopping is based off of the theory that every time we make a choice, there is another reality in which that other choice we didn't make is playing out. So the mantra that I begin my day with and I close my night with to solidify my peace is that I am in the timeline of my highest good, my deepest desires, and my ultimate fulfillment. And that means very simply that even when shit don't go the way I wanted it to, in order to achieve my highest good, in order to be closer to my deepest desires and have my ultimate fulfillment, that is exactly what the fuck was supposed to happen. And it helped bring me peace at the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day, it helped me go into the day with proper perspective. So on this Mental Health Monday, Step 1, I share with y'all my first step of the day and my last step of the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna share something with y'all. I learned this through one of my, I guess I knew him.
Who is this nigga though? Who are you?
6th grade. Oh, my bad. Let me introduce myself properly. I know y'all got the podcast home of the AKA. So I'm Kevin Gray, aka Kev Gray, aka Lil Bull Eye, aka Curl, aka Curly Top, aka Top Heavy, aka Top. AKA
what the chillers call you? What you hear? Pop?
AKA just Dad. You know they keep it simple.
Hey,
AKA
swag.
AKA what else?
What the surf homies call you?
Oh, they just call me Kev, aka Kev,
aka Young Athletics, aka Young Ariel
Athletics. Yeah, aka just riding the wash. You know, aka what else? Oh, Solo Alpha. You know what I'm saying?
You said he was Wash King Wade.
AKA what else? Where I'm gonna end it with? Oh, AKA Occupational Therapist. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I'm gonna share my mantra with y'all. I learned this through a good friend of mine. I've been knowing him since 6th grade. Also my life coach. He definitely does life coaching with me. And he's a father of 2 boys, just like me. And he does this with his sons, and he passed it on to me. Do it, I don't think he would care to share it. But basically, we go through this, try to do it every night, try to do it at least on the ride to school. And I basically will repeat, I'll say this, and then I'll say his name, and he'll say it back to me like, but it's basically we both saying it together. So we go, I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm respectful, I'm not better than anybody, and nobody is better than me. I love God, I love Jesus, I love my family, I love my friends, I love my teachers, and I love myself. So that's it. That's my go-to mantra, from the father's perspective of life. You feel me?
That's what's up, man.
Thank you for sharing that, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. It's your boy. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Clear.
Okay, that's a bit. Y'all know this shit been tripping today. Right. It's your boy, P. Henry Trotter IV, aka Casino
Technical
OP,
Difficulty.
aka Technical Difficulties, aka Quinn with the pen and with the lens, aka Home Run Trot, aka at Frederick _Douglas, aka Foul Hope Fred, aka It's a Spike P joint, aka your grandma's favorite house guest because that boy got manners. My mantra is, I ask not for divine providence or more riches, but more wisdom, for which to use wisely the riches I received at birth in the form of the power to control and direct my mind to whatever ends I desire. The most powerful muscle in your entire body is your brain, and whatever the brain can conceive, it can achieve. And so don't ask for things to be better. Just demand of yourself to make yourself better. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays.
Yes, sir.
Take it from here, Big G.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna start off.
Hold up.
Oh, go ahead.
Whoever finish up the intros from now, welcome to Mental Health Mondays. It's a movement. Them cowbells in later.
I got the cowbell. I was just thinking that. I gotta have that.
Better believe that. It's gonna be in here post production. But once you get the physical one, I'll let you do your thing. But it's gonna be here. Believe that.
All right. Yeah.
If you hit me with the shocker, bro, it'll be every time you do that in the episode. You hit me with one of the
That's gonna be the sound, the little wave.
But yes, brother, the mic is yours.
All right. So I know that one of the previous episodes, Fred was sharing one of the story that I had told him the other day. We was, chopping it up, catching up over the phone. And man, I'm still in contact with the young man. He's 18. So he did make that. I like that analogy you put. He went from Bel Air to Philly. So and I just was tapping in with him. I'm gonna call him this weekend. He gave me his new number, so he's still staying connected and stuff like that. He does music. He got talent, so he's still pushing his music thing. I just saw him perform. He was performing. So he was on stage out there. I guess it was I'm assuming in Philly. I'm gonna find out more information when I talk to him today. But yeah, he was doing this thing on stage, performing one of the songs that he had shared with me, like after the whole situation had went through with me, basically the way the day started was me and the wife, my wife has her candle business. Shout out to Elizabeth the Artist Candles.
Shout out.
And so we were dropping off some candles, going
Rule of
to
threes, you got to say it 3 times, cuz.
Elizabeth Artist Candles. Elizabeth Artist Candles. Elizabeth Artist Candles.
Yeah, you
get a couple.
You had to Austin Powers me, you know what I'm saying? You were like, shout out to my wife, you know what I'm saying, and her company, Elizabeth Artist Candles.
My bad.
She started it about 5 years ago, and she's been operating for a while, even been posted by celebrities the likes of Lil Wayne. So go get your, you know what I'm saying? Even if, make shit up. You say that thing 3 times, it drill it into people's minds. Shouts out to Elizabeth Artist Candles. If you notice, I got my 3 off. There you go.
I guess I was trying to create a little mantra.
There you go.
but yeah, so it was dropping off some Elizabeth Artist Candles at one of her shops over there in Leimert Park, which is Sika, one of the oldest shops in Leimert Park, the oldest shop to very Afrocentric shop. He's been there, I want to say, since the 70s, but he's definitely like the grandfather of Leimert Park area. So y'all should Google research Leimert Park. It's like a very well-known African-based, like African-American, like back in the day, that's where everybody was at, like culture, all of that. On the opening, when what's Moesha? When Moesha come on, they had like the fountain and stuff.
Yeah.
That's Leimert.
Okay.
Just to give you the visual. Just to give you that visual.
Black history.
We were headed over there. Yeah, Black History Month too, right? Yeah. So we were headed over there, dropping off candles. And of course, we had woke up. Of course, we needed to go get breakfast first. So it was like I had to make a decision. Like I was telling Fred, I just was going back, rethinking of like, how did I get to this point of, of meeting, I won't say his name because it's kind of, I'll let him, we get him on the show if he's interested or something like that. But I woke up and it was just like, I made a decision like, we'll drop off the candles first and then go get something to eat. So we was going to do that. We walking, across the street. I see some African print pants that's like, fire, because, they sell them over there and stuff. And we noticed them both at the same time, me and my wife. So, we like, oh yeah, those are dope. And we walk down, drop the candles off, we come back, and then we stop. And she was like, go ahead and get the pants. And I'm, normally I'm Mr. Cheap, so I don't really like, I'm just like, nah, I ain't gotta have them. But today, it was like, I'm gonna get them, So I went and got them. But while we were talking, to the guy that's selling the pens, he started, we had our 2-year-old with us, and he started, talking with him. He had a drum, our 2-year-old music artist. He started playing the drum with artists, and we trying to like leave because we still, we try to get to the food. Oh, I couldn't hear you.
You muted.
Oh yeah, you might be muted.
I be doing that, so I don't interrupt. That's my big brother name, Artist. Great name choice, bro.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
That's funny. Oh, we in alignment then. Yep. So we got the name from my father-in-law. That's his middle name. So yeah. Yep. So then, after that, he playing the drums with artists. We trying to leave. And then, he started talking about where he was from. I think he was from, I forgot what part of Africa. He started talking about Africa. I'm reading this book on African aquatics. So he started talking about, water. So, it caught our attention even more. So I'm like, you see the background, I'm into surfing and stuff like that. So when he started talking about the water culture, where he was from and how artists had like water energy and all of this stuff, I'm just like, okay, like, yeah. We started chopping up a little bit more. So we get the pants, we walking, and I'm saying all this to lead up to the point. So we walking, then all of a sudden my wife like, where the keys? So then we trying to find the keys. So all this stuff is happening, like slowing us down, like with going on with the day. And so we hop in, we driving, we on Crenshaw, we heading down, we actually was going to, it's on a Saturday, so we're going to Chick-fil-A. So we going up, and then next thing you know, my wife was like, oh my God, I think he's about to try to kill himself. And I'm just like, what? Like, he's about to commit suicide. She saw him like running. And so I I see him running. So, we in the middle of traffic. I just, hop out. And then I just like run up to him. He already jumped over, So not that and hopefully I can get him on here because I want him to give his perspective on it too. But maybe he could share his music with us and stuff. But, from that point, I'm just like, of course, when you're going through it, like, of course, I'm an occupational therapist, but I'm not trained in dealing with that. Like normally in a crisis like that, even the police, they have to call somebody else to come out here, and talk to them or whatever. So like how we said in the opening, I'm not that type of therapist. I'm not that kind of therapist. Basically, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. So, but I don't. It just was God, man. Like God it wasn't me. And that's why a lot of times, like, I wasn't even, like, after the whole, I didn't even call my family or nothing. I was just processing it because I was like, that wasn't me. And I didn't want to come across as being, like, boastful, like, look what I did this today. But as I saw him, like, he's already jumped over and he's on the ledge. And, like, the 10 freeway is underneath him and all these cars, like, that's the busiest freeway in LA, like, one of outside the 405, like the 10. And so I'm just looking, all these cars is going, and eventually they stop. And, and he there, and he like, I see his body do this, like literally, like his body do that. And, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, please don't do this in front of me. Like, I'm telling them like, bro, I love you, bro. I don't even know you. Like, I love you. Like, don't do it. Like that's what was on my heart. So I'm just going with whatever come to mind. I'm just saying it. I'm not even, really trying to what to say to him. I'm just, whatever words it was God's words. Like, I don't know, whatever angel that was there. Because when he did this, I'm just like, I didn't really like panic or anything. I'm just like staying calm. But I looked to my right. And, today's society, like our friend was saying, everybody want to record everything. So I'm like, nah, like, so, people are like pulling over and I see one person like in the car, like they're literally in the car trying to record. And I'm just like, get out and help. Like, don't record him. He had his lowest moment. Like, get out. Like, I'm like, stop recording. And I'm just like, I'm not going to, I was talking to him at the same time. Like, I'm not going to let them do that to you. We're not about to record you. No. Like, I love you, bro. Like, please don't do this. Like, you got a lot of life to live. Like, don't do it. Like, I'm just telling you this. Like, I just love, all I kept saying was, I love you, bro. I love you. I don't even know you. And then, I don't know, something was just like, ask him to get something to eat. Ask him if he's hungry. I'm just like, what did he, at that point, then, like, I kind of like start thinking, like, what does he, like, what is it? What does he need? And I'm just like, you need some money, bro? Like, I'm saying all this stuff, like all this materialistic stuff, and it's not connecting. And then I'm like, you hungry? You need some food? Like, you want something to eat? Like, let's go get something to eat. Let's go get some food. And then when I say that, like, he literally turns and looks at me like eye to eye. And I'm just like, okay, like, come on. And he shook his head. Yeah, he ain't saying nothing. And then he climbed back over. I helped him climb back over. And this older black lady's like out of her car. And she was like, what do you need? What do you need? And I'm just like, he just need love. Like, come on, like, and we just gave him like a big hug, and of course things got emotional, things like that. And then we hopped in and we left, and my wife, like, man, like it was like, that was another thing, like, and I told him this, I was like, even though like that experience, like, you helped me and my wife out more than anything on our spiritual journey too, because like we both acting off faith, and I'm driving and she's talking to him, like, and she giving him like, basically like gems. Like, I never even heard her speak like this before. She's just like dropping all these gems off to him, and I remember one of the things, like, I showed Fred, she was like, it ain't your time. Like, you trying to rush God's time for you to leave earth, and it's not your time. Like, you can't do that. And I'm listening too. And I'm just like, wow. Like, so we try to give him, like, I even went to Fat Burgers, like, we trying to give him food. There's the other part, like, when we was going to Chick-fil-A, the road is closed. So I'm like, oh, we can't even go there. So I'm like, you eat Fat Burger? So we go to Fat Burger, and then we get in there, you know, and I'm getting out the car, and my wife is like, oh, just get artists like some fries. So we in there, and I'm ordering. I'm like, what do you want? Like, he was like, nah. He's like, I'm not even like hungry. Which I don't blame him after all of that. Like, you know, you're not really trying to eat nothing. But he had the mind and awareness to be like, but your wife said get your son to get the baby some fries. So, you know, just, you know, I can wait. Just, you know, get your son some fries. So I'm like, okay, this kid. So I'm like, all right, it's more to him, you know, like, cause you know, you can be kind of judgmental with people when they going through certain situations. You might think this, that, and the third, and it ain't even that. Like, you know, you might be thinking, oh, he on drugs or something, or, you know, just whatever judgmental thing you're trying to put on.
But
so, you know, at that point,
being present of mind enough to be selfless speaks to where he was at.
Yeah.
And the type of person, if you could be selfless in that moment and not be thinking about yourself, it say a lot about his character.
Absolutely. So that's when, you know, of course, like, me and my wife, because you have to think about it too, like, as a husband and a father, like, we didn't know him, and we get in the car, and we in the middle of the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
all those things go through your mind, and then you don't know what he can do next. Like, you don't know that and the third, but we all had like this trust, like, how you could tell the presence of God was there. So, you know, we still was trying to give him like all these material things, and what he told us was like, I appreciate it, y'all, like, y'all did enough for me already. And he was like, you know, I jumped, and I was like thinking, he was like, I don't know what it was. He was like, but my hand, he was like, I got a bruise, like his hand was bleeding. And then I just happened to have like these alcohol wipes and Band-Aids in my you know, Carhartt like little thing. And that was because I ended up cutting myself at work like a couple days before, and this teacher like just gave me a boatload of it was a librarian. She gave me this boatload of Band-Aids and alcohol wipes, and she was like, just have these just in case. So, you know, I'm thinking like all this stuff that we may not be paying attention to, we like try to really stay in alignment with, you know, with whatever, you know, spiritual realm you may exist in. You know, certain things happen, or, you know, God, the universe, however you want to, you know, tap into it. You know, I'm just like, oh, I got these. So, you know, he cleaned himself up, strapped the Band-Aids on, but he was just telling me how he was holding on to the railings, but he was like, that wasn't me. And then like, that was echoing in my mind, and I'm like, it was on the left side. And so on the left side of my mouth, I had like this like inner like lip, I guess, from where I was biting my lip. But I don't remember like I was talking the whole time. So I don't remember like biting down on my lip. You know, when you bite the inside of your lip, you're gonna feel it. Like, you're gonna be like, dang, like, you know, when you chewing gum, you bite, you know what I'm saying? Like, you bite the inner side of your jaw, like, you feel that. I don't remember feeling none of that, but I had like this bruise on the left side, inside of my mouth, from biting down. So I'm just like, hey, whatever, you know, I told him like, whatever force it was, whatever guardian angel you got, it had me too. Like, I couldn't move either. But I do remember like going through it, like I was just standing still, like at one point. So it was just like a lot to process after that. And we kept in touch. You know, we ended up the next day, I picked him up. Well, I didn't even pick him up. We went for a walk, like just to chop it up, you know, just tapping into him, making sure to stay connected afterwards, because we was like, you know, kind of worried, you know, dropping him off. But yeah, I really, I'm gonna try to talk to him, see if he can come on here on a Mental Health Monday and give more, you know, from his perspective of it. But I remember him also like sharing that, you know, he had got connected with a shelter at this time because he was, you know, dealing with a lot of stress and stuff. But he was where he was staying at. He was like, every time I'm at my lowest, he was like, God keeps sending people to uplift me. So it was like very much like, wow, like, okay, like, so when I went back and I started processing everything, I'm like, dang, so them little moments in Lamert was holding us up, because normally after we drop the candles off, is because even when I got to the light, yeah, go ahead.
As you get ready to share that part of it, I'ma steer you there as we head into the discussion phase of this Mental Health Monday, the Big M Monday. You touched on something that is a central piece to timeline jumping and timeline hopping, which is a part of that mantra that I shared. Alignment. And the biggest part of alignment is people struggle with regret and a feeling of loss of decisions and opportunities not taken advantage of. And part of that peace and alignment of I am in the timeline of my highest good, my deepest desires, and my ultimate fulfillment is being able to connect with yourself, who's getting to experience those things that you didn't. But beyond that, as you get ready to talk about how every step of the way led you to the exact moment and the exact place you were supposed to be, how do you feel impacted by the movement element of Mental Health Monday today? What moved you? Because so many things held you up to get you to a moment where something needed to move you. And I had that written down to make sure I wanted to ask you. So talk to me about that element of alignment. And as you bring us to that moment, what moved you?
You talking about like move me to get out the car? Like, and actually like get
in its totality, yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't in your car filming, you understand me?
Right.
Something moved you.
I mean, I've been in them positions before where I'll be transparent. I done been in a situation where I done felt suicidal, you know what I'm saying, before. Like, I've had that feeling. So seeing him is kind of like, dang, like, nah, like it's way more, like you got more to life right now. Like, don't, and being a father, you know what I'm saying, and dealing with certain situations, as a father, when you see someone like young like that, it don't even matter, black kid, white kid, Asian kid, you just see this young kid, about to jump and give up on life. And it's like, life is so precious. And I just, you just think about like his family, like just his story, like his whole, like his journey to this point of, where you at your lowest of the lowest. And just naturally, as being an occupational therapist, we kind of have like that innate feeling of where we feel like, especially, me working in the school system, if I see a kid in need, I gotta jump. Like, I'm not gonna sit back, like I gotta help a kid, like, period, like whatever it is. So that's what really made me jump, is just that life experiences, my training as an OT with dealing with kids, that in a way, I think I felt as if that was a student of mine, that was going through something, and, just to try to add value, to whatever, because it's like, I know you tap it in, either you building or destroying, and if you destroy, you gotta build, so whatever he was trying to destroy, he needed somebody there to help build it back up, so I just wanted to stay, I think one of the people that I really tap into is Jerry Lorenzo, the creator, founder of Fear of God. And one of his interviews, he was talking about always being open, Like, so at that, like, just listening to him, I always try to like carry myself and stay open and not necessarily close off to certain things, because you just never know. You know, it's never about us. You know, it's just about, you know, things outside of us, and allowing, you know, for me, I'm a God-fearing man, so allowing God just to, you know, work through me to help out whoever. Like, it's not really about me. So it was just staying open, you know what I'm saying? And one of the mantras, I'm not better than anybody. Nobody's better than me. That part of it, being brave. I had to be brave in that moment, you know, because he could have, you know, jumped. So at the same time, it's like, somebody, I just feel like even if someone is like, even if they had already did something, I'm still gonna get out the car and sort of like, you know, be with them, like, and try to, you know, help them through that whole situation, even if they, you know, might have did something to harm themselves. But yeah, just staying open, man, just staying open and allowing God to like just use me. That's one of the things I prayed about, is use me as a tool to help other people. So yeah, but yeah, so when I think back to the alignment of all them little things happening, I was about to turn left. Like, I wasn't even about to go his direction. But then I was like, something was just saying like, go right. And I was just like, all right, let me go. Because it was like a Jack in the Box to the left. We could have easily just went to Jack in the Box that's like within 100 feet of us. But something was like, nah, go right. You know, listen to your first mind. You said you was going Chick-fil-A. Let's go Chick-fil-A. And then that's where we was going. And normally I'm just in the left lane, just going, but I happen to be in the right lane, just cruising. And here's the other part of it. Me and my wife we were literally having a conversation about what's the actor, the voiceover for Riley on Boondocks? What's her name?
Regina King.
Regina King. You know, her son had just committed suicide. And we were just talking about
I didn't know that.
Literally, we in the car talking about her son committing suicide and how you just never know. And then we driving, and we literally, my wife points out and sees someone that's trying to go through, you know, suicide, having a suicidal moment. I'll put it as that. So, but I'm just happy that now that we connected, like, I see him, I follow him. He doing, you know, like I shared earlier, he's doing meaningful and purposeful like things, you know, in his life. You know, like he did talk about, you know, going to college or, you know, trying to pursue education, but at the same time, it's like that may not be for everybody. Like, but if you want your music, stay on your music. Like, if that's, you know, that's what you need right now in the moment. So yeah, it's very like after all of that, he's very much like, you know, keeping himself going, keeping himself up. And I always, when I talk to him, like, man, you helping me, you know, like you don't really realize like what you was going through, your lowest point is helping me at my point in life. So just staying open to that. But yeah, that's kind of, you know, a main piece that I like to echo as a therapist, like making sure you're doing stuff that's meaningful, purposeful, and having like that routine. Because I think a lot of times we may be doing something, but we're not doing it like in a routine type of way. Or we may try something like everybody say do meditation. That's, you know, meditate, let me meditate. But that may not be for you. You may not find no meaning and purpose to it, you know? But you're still trying to do it, and you're trying to force it, but it's not really helping you.
One thing that I thought was really cool about the intro to the show is we all share mantras of a different nature. And as the occupational therapist, as the husband, as the father on the show, you have the nurturer's tilt. And your mantra was one that you shared with someone and with your son. And I am huge in the belief that we speak things into existence, and we have been gifted with the ability to mold reality with our words. And you see it in religion show up as speak things into existence. You see it pops up in culture in thousands of different ways, but people don't translate it. But I said all that to say, I want to toss it to the empath on the show, because this story impacted him enough to where it made its mark on GSH, and we spent almost 40 minutes talking about it. So when you hear this story and you hear this connection, moving into the third M for the day, mindfulness. Where does it take you? Where do you believe a person has to be on either end of this interaction? And what does it make you want to ask Kev?
So for me, man, and like I am the resident empath, and I believe our greatest asset is not our time, it is our energy and how we choose to apply it. And so in that, like hearing the story, it was like you said, it's that relatability. I've had those moments personally myself, and so to be connecting with my bruh, and like he reached out to me earlier that day, and like our conversation took several different directions, man, and it was full of fruit. But that was like hearing, like you said, that young man, helping him in things that he's going through in a place where he is currently, where he is like it created a sense of presence for Kev, and having that presence. I had a conversation yesterday. I drove up to Dallas to help my cousin move in to her new apartment. She moved out here from Florida, and as I was pulling up to meet up with her dad to head to Home Depot, I was on the phone with another friend of ours, bruh, from Swanee, and he and I were talking about a tenet that always shows up in conversations that you and I have, and you tell me, if I'm not experiencing it, it doesn't exist. And so in that conversation that Kev and I had, it's a memory now, but we were both present in that moment. Like we both found some relatability in being there with each other and having that fellowship back and forth with each other. And his story resonated with me because I have that relatability to that young man. And I have that want to always either be thinking about 5 years before or 5 years in the future, when neither of those things matter because you are not there, or you are not on the other end of the spectrum. All you are is here, and all you are is experiencing your right now. And so moving from the thing that made him move was being present, seeing what was going on, knowing that relatability, and in that moment moving. All those other things, he didn't know why he didn't know he was going to be there at that time. He didn't know what was going to happen in his day. And that's how I move like throughout my life. Like all the things that we say yes to, I say, like whenever you ask me to do something as my brother, or like whenever I see your phone call, if I can't pick up your phone call, it's because I physically can't pick it up, because I always want to say yes to my brothers, because you calling me, it's something you need. There's something you need. And so Kev was present in that young man's moment of need. That conversation that he hit me with that day, I had to pick up the phone because it was a moment of need for me to be able to receive that energy. And so to be able to be who we are and what we need to be in this world, we have to be present and doing things, like you said, that are meaningful and purposeful. If you're going to use your energy, if you're going to be here, do things that are meaningful to you, do things that fulfill your soul, do things that Kev saw in this occupational therapist moment, like that. This is a thing that moves me. I see a young brother doing something and all the signs are pointing to he needs help. Let me move and let me get in the way, and let me be a vessel for God and be present and receive that, man. So the question I have for Kev is, how do you, because I'm somebody who wants to meditate, and meditation for me is taking different forms. for me, it's not just sitting still and having that awareness of like just sitting down and being in a dark room. Like I meditate in several different ways. I meditate by washing the dishes. I meditate by I meditate by doing things of meaning. And so what things do you do of meaning that keep you inspired to do the work that you do?
I mean, the one thing I like doing is like, I just like supporting people. You know, like that brings a lot to me as far as like just being open. Like I said earlier, supporting people. And one of the things that I'm really into now, like you know, me and Fred grew up together. Like we played ball against each other, like from, you know, I can't even, like since I could remember, I've been playing
third grade
basketball. Man. Yeah, third grade.
Third grade. Y'all was the maroon team and we was the green and white team.
Yeah, and our dads was coaching us. Like, if even after we had team practice, we'll be going one-on-one while our dads is talking, you know. And then just in the neighborhood alone, you know. So sports have always been there for me, you know. And so that's one thing that I really tap into. Those are the meaningful and purposeful things. I don't really do the same sports that I used to do. Like basketball, football, things like that. But you know, I still got it now. Don't you know? I get out there now.
Can I hit?
You look like you might have. I might cover you.
Can I hit the audience with a? Oh nah, nigga, I was an old lineman. This weight loss is recent.
Oh,
but you encountered me on the field. You did something very wrong, and we finna score a touchdown because I'm finna blow your ass up. If you 20 yards downfield and I'm in between you and my running back, ooh, you made some bad business decisions. But
hey, Fred, but if you lined up on that punt, and I'm on the punt block. You're not touching me.
But this dude was the artist, bro. Like, I don't know what he blocked so many kicks throughout his career, but it was insane. Like it's
they put a wide receiver on me in the semifinal game, and when I tell you that nigga had 3 sacks in the first half, coach didn't even say nothing to me in the half. He just looked at me. I said, "I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get him." And all I had to do was get him once and fall on him, and the coach took him out. But anyway,
that was it.
Y'all got me derailed. It's perfect that my brother P transitioned into meditation from mindfulness, and I just want to give the people a very broad definition of meditation. Meditation is a practice in which an individual uses a technique such as mindfulness or focusing the mind on a particular object, thought, or activity to train attention and awareness and achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state. And as my brother P said, there are countless ways you can do this, and you may have things in your life that are already meditative habits. Leaning into those things and the mindfulness part of it is what allows you to amplify that gift that you've already given yourself. And as my brothers talk about this, I just wanted to bring that context to the audience as they broaden your horizon on what you look at as meditation, so that you start to connect with these things differently, and you understand why you feel out of balance when you ain't seen the homies for a round of golf in 2 months. So that you start to understand that everything you do and consume is and creates a diet. Even the things you watch on television are a diet. And if you only eat junk food, it will lead to unhealthiness. But yeah, I want to toss it back to my brother. Please expound on what you were saying.
Yeah, so for me as an OT, like even when it comes to sports, like I was saying, I look at it, we have this thing called sensory integration theory. But that's kind of dealing with like more of like you have a deficit or something like that, and we have to do certain techniques and strategies to integrate your whole body so that you know where you are in space or in your environment. But another piece of the sensory integration theory is just sensory experiences. Like, we all enjoy sensory experiences. We may not have like a deficit to the point where it impacts our like daily living skills or like our level of independence in life. So for me, surfing has been one of the key components of my sensory experiences. Like, it's helping me understand, like, you can't be in control all the time, because you can't control the wave. You can't make up the environment, even when it comes to like tapping into surf competitions. If the waves aren't there, then the competition can't even happen. You know, like, they don't just push it on out there. Like, they like, hey, we gonna wait another day, or hey, it's too dangerous right now. Like, you're not gonna go out there. You know, so even with that, you know, like, just going out in the water and tapping in, like, now it's led me to do more research on, you know, the African history of surfing and aquatics in general, you know, and just learning things. So then my whole sensory experiences around surfing, like, it goes to, if I'm just going to the beach, I'm getting my, you know, grounding from walking barefoot in the sand, or I might run in the sand. You got to stretch before you get in the water, you know, and then just the whole aspects of, like, just when you in the water. And yeah, go ahead, I see your finger up.
Yeah, the heat is with the New Era Missionary Baptist Church finger.
Yeah. So you know, I'm just going back to the sensory experiences. So we got, like, it's different points. I won't get so technical. I can keep it, you know, regular. But you got body awareness, you got movement, you got like just textures. So you kind of get all of that with the surfing and different things. So, you know, I get my texture, grounding through the sand, the water, you know, even just putting on a wetsuit, like that whole thing. And then even when it comes to, like, you know, I'm still at the beginning stages of even being able to surf, like, say, like a overhead wave, like how you see in my background. But right now, like, even just going out in the water, letting the water hit you, and just feeling the movement, the force of the wave, even if you just laying on your belly and you guiding the surfboard, it just do so much for you. And I just call it, like, you know, they call it riding the wash, is where like the beginners start at. So I just kind of, you know, say, like, I'm riding the wash to cleanse my mind, you know. So that's one of my things when I put in my mind when I go out there. It's like, because, you know, it could be intimidating a lot of times. So you got to get rid of that fear. You know, I think I heard fear is man-made, you know, so you got to get rid of that whole element of fear just to even go out in the water, because that's the least explored place on earth, right? We don't even know what's in the water, you know, but just learning, like, the whole culture behind surfing, because, like, one of the OG surfers, you know, I'm part of this Discord, Black Surfers Discord. They talk about how you can surf and not be a surfer. Like, you know, it's two different things of, like, I surf and then surfer. Because when you're a surfer, you start, like, you take on this whole new, you know, viewpoint of the world, like trying to use less plastics, you know, like, it just kind of like give you this whole different purpose in life, you know, of how you do your day to day, which carries over, like, with whatever sport you into. I don't know, for me, if I'm gonna get into something, I'll be wanting to know everything about it. I want to, like, I'm not trying to be no poser with it, you know. I'm not trying to, you know, I don't know, we never really said cap, but, you know, I'm not trying to be fugazi, you know, I'm gonna date myself. I'm not trying to be, you know, flaw with it or anything like that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Answer your question.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Your man said fugazi, cuz.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot you got to bounce.
We done touched on the 4 M's. I toss it to P. Do your thing, G.
Yes, sir, man. And so, like I talked about earlier, it begins with presence, man. It's not about 5 years ago. It's not about 5 years from now. It's only about now. So be aware of your thoughts, your right now, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, or what you want to do, or what you're about to do. Give it some thought. Breathe. Take you in some air. Release what you don't what you don't need. Fully release what you don't need. Rinse, wash, repeat. Take in some more air. Feel it. Articulate throughout your, let it circulate throughout your body. Articulate what's going on with you. And then what decision can you make right now that will bring you some peace? Make it purposeful. Make it meaningful. Be accountable. Be mindful. Be yourself, man.
Hey,
Mental Health Monday.
It's a movement.
Run them cowbells.
To address but don't have enough stamps. Laundry loads of rhythm but don't know the right dance. The name is important, hope it builds the right brand. They wanna catch the flame but don't have the right hands. Tough yards, all stock, y'all free, all scot. Walk into the game, raw talent, hard knocks. But spend a mini day on the hardwood blacktop. We still making plays, bruh, give us our props. Need a light when that nicotine bite. Prior set the fire, saw the humor in his life. Prior to Richard Jeremiah made it known to let the fire out, don't leave it shut up in your bones. Because the roof, the grass, damn your ass on fire too. We don't need no water, we just need that right juice. Me and my niggas trying to get it, grinding to make it happen. Waiting to catch fire, till then we just matches.